Do 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 da 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 da. Now if I could sing, I would sing all the time. I would be that guy that would show up at your home and just want to sing. And the first time you would go, man, hey, that was great, Robert. I mean, if I could sing, I can't. I'm not a good singer. But the third, fifth, 20th time, you would get bored. Anyway, that's what happens when people want to lose weight. At first, it starts off great, and then it becomes somewhat monotonous. There's a minutia that takes over, and you're going in faith, and you're hoping it's going to work out, and it may not work out. Well, today, I'm going to share with you something that I discovered over 10 years ago, crafted it, got it to a place where it is today, and is weight loss for people over the age of 40. And we're going to share with you like the formula, almost behind the scenes of the Carb Threshold Index. Now, that may not mean anything to you now, but it's going to make a lot of sense as we get into it. So helping me do this is my partner and co-host of the Stay Healthy Experience, fellow nutritionist and weight loss coach, Miss Barbara BK Kris.
What's up, Ferg?
So you're probably thinking, okay, why is he singing? Where is he going with this? And the hardcore reality is I need to give it a little bit of time so that the streaming can catch up. I'm kind of like delaying some time because we're about to talk about something that's, I think it's going to relate to a lot of people. And I've been wanting to do this for a long time. Originally, I was going to do it all by myself, but I realized it would be so much better if you were part of this because you've been coaching people and helping people with the Carb Threshold Index. And I mean, you're my partner on this, and I just feel that you will bring a lot to the table and you will help me stay focused because I could get way out there and go way over there and lose people and just forget why we're actually doing this. So thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. It's going to be fun. And yes, I've been loving coaching this with my clients. It is phenomenal, to say the least.
So this is what I would like to do, Barbara. Before we go into it, okay. I'm going to share just a really quick story or thought that's coming to mind about the Carb Threshold Index. And then I want you to do the same. And then we're going to give them a presentation. I put together a basic PowerPoint with the goal of showing them how this all came about and bringing clarity to how it can help them. Because as you and I both know, weight loss over the age of 40, and you guys, Barbara's over 40. I mean, I don't know if she wants me to put that out there, but I mean, she is.
In fact, I look at my cup. This is my month, my birthday month, Pisces season.
That's right. And your birthday is tomorrow. So for those of you who are catching this, Barbara's birthday is March 3rd. Yes. She was born in 1948.
Oh God, you know what my son says? He says, you were born in 1873 because you are going to be 148. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I like your son. He's a smart guy. But anyway, so I want to open up. Here's my opening. Then Barbara do, and then we're going to jump right into it, you guys. But I seriously strongly recommend if you are anyone, even if you're not 40, but I want you to take the time, whether you catch this live, you're watching a replay, and I just want you to give yourself time, first thing in the morning, afternoon, evening, and just listen to this presentation because we're going to bring clarity to why so many women and men over the age of 40 are having a tough time losing weight. And I don't see this getting easier in the near future. It's going to get tougher. However, we do have a solution. So we're not going to have you feeling bad or have you feel like you're stuck in the struggle. We have a way out of that struggle. And we're going to share that with you and some of the science behind it. And it's way better. And I'm just going to go there than anything that's out there. There is nothing. And everything that we do is evidence-based, it's clinically proven. Diet Free Life is a methodology that I strongly recommend everybody learn. We have an online course. You can learn about it. And once you have that, it makes it easier for me to help you or Barbara to help you and coach you on what we're going to cover today. But this is a program and a method that works. It works. And it's going to make total sense. So you be the judge. And we're just going to present the information. And Barbara, if you don't mind, because I know you've had a lot of success stories in the people you're coaching. But as you use some of this Carb Threshold Index, I guess, formula or the algorithm, share with us something that would make sense to kind of set us up to jump right into it as far as the success of some of or one of your clients.
Oh, that's a good question. Let's see. I can give you the example of one of my clients. She's now down 20 pounds. We started off doing the Diet Free Life methodology, just starting her off as a brand new client. She's 53, had been struggling with her weight loss for quite some time. If anything, she was slowly putting on weight and was struggling with essentially feeling that she needed to cut her food intake to really nothing in order to get results. So we started off, I coached her through the methodology, went through 8 weeks together. She got great results. But we really felt that as we were working together, that the way, how she was responding to her meals, we needed to do some tweaking. And so we felt that it was the best step was then to now put her through the Carb Threshold Index program to really specifically hone in for her what was best for her as far as optimizing her carb metabolism. And so we've just started kicking that off. And we found what we kind of learned from going through the Diet for Life methodology, but now we actually have a number associated with it. We know specifically how to frame her meals, and it just gives us so much more clarity, right? And a clear step forward with where we're going. And so far, so good. Her weight is incrementally going down. Her body fat percentage is going down, and we're slowly getting, as you'll explain, her carb threshold is inching up. And she's, more than anything, she feels great. She has great energy, and she's happy, and that's what really matters. So
nice. And she's not depriving herself, and she's not avoiding food groups, and she's not feeling the struggle. And what she's learning is something that she can use for the rest of her life. It's like today, Barbara, I was talking to a client that is over the age of 40, and I was sharing with her. I had to interrupt her a little bit, and I said, do you realize that you are learning how to eat in a way that not only are you going to keep losing the weight, but you're learning how to eat and enjoy food where you don't gain the weight back. And after 30 days of working with me in this program, she was like, wow, thank you. And I was like, no, thank you for giving me the chance to help you, because there's a lot of people in their 20s and their 30s. Unless you're really mature, don't contact me. I'm not interested. Go to Barbara, because I'm not in this for games. I like working with people, Barbara, that understand the struggle. This is real. And if someone's looking to like play games and like take shortcuts, this is not something. I'm not interested in that. You could have all the money in the world. Don't contact me. I have other coaches that'll play games with you, but I'm past all that. I'm only interested in people who are really focused and they understand the struggle. That being said, I mean, I have 22-year-old clients, but I let them know up front, if you play with me, I'm letting you go, because you need to go and experience a struggle. This is real. There are people who are not living their best and happiest life because they're stuck and they're falling prey to the keto and all these crazy diets and all these people who are wearing sheep's clothing, who are pretending to have the answers, and people don't know. I mean, you've heard me say it over and over, Barbara, that the uninformed are being misguided, influenced by the misinformed. And some of the misinformed are just looking for the quick buck. That is not me. Now, let me just also say, before we jump into this, that I asked Barbara to be here to keep me on track, because I can get
Yeah.
really upset and frustrated because I hear from people and I talk to people. I'm in the trenches with people. And when you're talking to people, I'm not sitting in a boardroom and just coming up with a marketing and let's just throw it out there. I'm in it. And when you're in it and you actually have a heart, as we were talking to Natalie earlier, it does bother me if I see someone taking advantage of someone with their lack of information or knowledge, and they get them on some program that may just totally mess up their metabolism. So anyway, that's my only rant. I apologize.
Yeah. No, but it had to be said. It had to be said because it's out there.
It had to be said. So you guys stay with us. So the goal is, if you're on Facebook, YouTube, whatever, you make comments, we will look at your comments and we can answer any questions that you have. And when you contact us, I can put you directly in touch with Barbara, directly in touch with me. We have other coaches that can train you on exactly what we're going to talk about. Okay. And you can go to dietfreelife.com to learn more about the basic methodology. But this program is a program designed around coaching you. Okay. It's coaching you directly. Okay. Let's take a deep breath, Barbara. Okay. Let's take a deep breath.
Go.
Okay. Are you guys ready? In the comments, let me know where you're from. So if you're on Facebook, let me this post and say, hey, I'm from Indiana. I'm from Michigan. I'm from New York. I'm from Australia. I mean, we got them coming in from all over, Barbara.
Yeah, Rio.
That's right. Because hey, guess what? This is not a local thing in the States. This is in Canada. People are challenged all over the world when it comes to weight loss. And there's a lot of confusion around it. And we're about to go there. And if anyone, what's that?
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, no. Yeah, sorry. I mean, no, I need you to stop me. It's okay. Stop me at any time. Okay.
No, I was just going to say that I just got off the phone with a client in Canada doing this program. So yes, nice. It's all over. And Montana and Miami and all over. Tucson.
Well, I know, hey, we have Dee Dee from Alcoa. Dee Dee, I think, dropped 7 inches in her waist doing what we're about to talk about. And that's not in a year. We're talking 30 days. I'm seeing 1 to 5 inches in the waist dropping in 30 days. Wow. And people are eating food and they're learning, which is very empowering. So let's jump into it, man. Let's go. Let's get into it because there's a lot to talk about in a very short period of time. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Go.
All right. Let's go. So we're going to talk about the Carb Threshold Index. And Barbara, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So
looks good.
Do you see the screen that says the goal of this presentation?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm just checking with Barbara because as I walk you guys through this presentation, I can't see Barbara. I can't see you guys. All I see is a presentation. I just wanted to make sure that I don't miss anything. Okay. So
right. And
the goal here of this presentation, what's that?
I can see the comments as well, just in case.
Okay, great. And at any time, interrupt me if you feel there's something that you want to bring up. So you're like the moderator also, okay?
Okay.
So the goal of this presentation is to introduce you to the Carb Threshold Index and how it can help you, number one, improve your carbohydrate metabolism. Now, a lot of people, when they hear that, that's the first time they've heard it. You have a protein metabolism, you have a fat metabolism, and you also have a carbohydrate metabolism. And people used to think that fat was the biggest problem or cause for why people were gaining, a lot of weight and all of that because it was demonized. But we've also learned that carbs play a big role in it. And people metabolize carbs differently. And so the goal is to improve how you metabolize carbs when you eat them. So that's part of the Carb Threshold Index. The second thing is that we want to get you on a program where we're going to optimize your gut microbiome. And your microbiome, in short, is your gut bacteria. And you're going to have a lot of people talking about this, and they really don't know. I don't know, but I know way more than most people. And so I consult with people like a Dr. Sabine, top gastroenterologists who know this like the back of their hand. And we've done the work. 10 years ago, I was introduced to the microbiome. The last 3.5 years, I've learned a lot about it. And I've worked with clients where we actually watch it improve in a short and long period of time. So we're talking about that. That's very important. And when you optimize your microbiome, you're reducing bloating and inflammation. And that's where we're seeing a lot of people drop significant inches like in the first 30 days. You also improve fat deposition, which is getting rid of body fat in the areas that you don't want it. Who doesn't want that? And we're talking about increasing your energy throughout the day as we tap into your improvement of everything that we're talking about, which is being guided by the Carb Threshold Index. And the goal is for you to lose weight, because everybody wants to lose the weight, and I get it, but also put yourself in a position where you don't gain it back. Now, it does help to understand what we mean by insulin resistance versus insulin sensitivity. So, Barbara, as I share with you very shortly after I met you in the very beginning, I share with you that in 2011, my infomercial was #1 on TV. People were buying the diet-free life methodology, thousands a week. And as I was traveling and doing speeches and talks to people, I would have some people come up to me and they would say, "Hey, Robert, I got your program. I believe in it. It makes total sense, but it's not working for me." Now, when you have thousands of people and it's working for them, and then you meet one person here and there that says it's not, the first thing in my mind is I assume that they're lying, right?
Right. What are you doing wrong?
What are you doing wrong? And then after a while, I started noticing that none of these people were in their 20s or their 30s. They were primarily 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. Even Dionne Warwick, the famous Dionne Warwick, I'll never forget. I sat down with her and she broke it down, and it just wasn't working for her. And so it was all these people in a certain age group. And so I decided, you know what? Let me look into this. So in 2011, I started looking into it, and I came across 3 studies. And this is the background that I want everyone to get, right? In these studies, there was 3 of them, okay? And if you look here at the charts, in the very first, all 3 of them, they had people consume the same amount of calories, but they broke it up into the different ratios of macronutrients. But across the board, all independent studies, it was 20% of the calories they consume was in the form of protein. And then there was 60% of the other calories, carbs. And then, of course, you can see 40, you can see 45. And it was those ratios. Now, if you look at table one, the focus was on looking at people losing weight who were insulin sensitive. So, Barbara, at any time, just let me know, like, if you feel I need to share with people what we mean by sensitive, or what we mean by anything.
I was just about to say, to explain a little bit what you mean by insulin sensitive, and when you get to that chart, what you mean by insulin resistant.
Okay, thank you. So insulin sensitive. So insulin is a hormone that is largely looked at as a storage hormone. It does a lot of positive things, but unfortunately, it's been demonized as the hormone that's largely responsible for why we gain body fat. Well, in this study, they noticed that women who were insulin sensitive, meaning that insulin works very well in their body. They're not a type 1 diabetic. They're not a type 2 diabetic. Everything functions great. And most of these women had 10, maybe 15, 20 pounds they wanted to lose, and they had a hard time losing it. Well, when you're insulin sensitive, when they doubled the amount of carbs that they consumed, these people doubled their weight loss. So, Barbara, think about all the women that you know that have that last 10, last 15 pounds. They're eating protein, low carb, veggies. They're staying away from pasta. They're staying away from wheat. They're staying away from gluten. And they just can't get those last 5 to 20 pounds off. You see that a lot, right?
A lot.
A lot. And a big part of why they're probably never going to lose it, those last pounds, because they would do best if they ate more carbs. Right. And that scares a lot of women because carbs are demonized. Mm-hmm. So the study proved that the weight loss is doubled if they eat more carbs. And as a fitness physique professional, that you didn't quit eating yams, you didn't quit eating rice. You ate a good amount of carbs and you looked amazing walking on the stage.
Yeah, yeah. And I tell you, I went through that same process of disbelief, eating what I was eating and the amount I was eating, and looking as ripped the way I was. It really was an eye opener. And I think sometimes it takes people to really experience it because they just have decided, that carbs are just bad, you know.
And they have
It's
no
really
idea.
important.
And this
Yeah.
is one of the first thing I love about the carb threshold index is because we can take in their data and we put it into a formula. That formula then tells us exactly what their carb threshold index is. And that's not the amount of carbs you eat. But at that point, we then can coach you in a way that's going to get you the results that you want. There is non-bias. It's real. So this is the first example of how the carb threshold index works. And you can only know what your carb threshold index is if you work with me, if you work with Barbara, or if you work with one of our coaches. That's the only way you're going to know it, because this is proprietary data that we don't just make public, but it's a tool that helps us help you be successful.
Absolutely.
We good?
We
Okay,
good.
let's go to
We
number
good.
2. And this
Ready.
one, this is the second of 3. In this one, these women were insulin resistant. So if you're, pre-diabetic, you probably heard insulin resistant. If you watch certain infomercials, you'll hear people talk about insulin resistant. They don't really have a way to tell you if you're insulin resistant, but when we take in your data, we will know, in a second, if you are more inclined to be insulin resistant or insulin sensitive. And if you're sensitive, you saw what we talked about on the first slide. On this slide, you wouldn't benefit to consume more carbs, and you wouldn't benefit to consume low or no carbs. We guide you based on our personal work with you on the right amount of carbs to consume. And what's cool, Barbara, and you know this, I'm preaching to the choir here, but we have a methodology that is based on fast carbs and slow carbs, and all foods are categorized. So it makes it really easy for us to explain how to create these meals without feeling like you're deprived or you're missing out. But you eat in a way that's going to help you maximize your carbohydrate metabolism. And if you notice, and I mentioned this earlier, these people spent millions of dollars, these companies, in doing these trials. And the protein was the number one macronutrient. It never changed. It was the same across the board, because they knew that weight loss and weight gain is largely dependent on the ratio between how many carbs you consume to how much fat you consume. And we have a formula with the carb threshold index that tells you exactly what's going to work for you. So in this example right here, the women who were insulin resistant, they doubled their weight loss when they ate based on this. It's fascinating.
That lineup.
And the third one is for better weight loss. People who are insulin resistant, again, experience better weight loss when they kept their carbs around here, compared to the women who are a little smaller would benefit from consuming more carbs. And so all of these 3 put us in a position to create the carb threshold index. The carb threshold index goes from 0 to 100. If you're under 40, then you lean more on the resistant side. The good news is that we have a way for you to eat that's going to speak specifically to you and your situation. If you're 60 plus, you're on the receptive side. That means you're more on the sensitivity side. And we're going to have you eaten in a way that's speaking specifically to you. And if you're 41 to 60, in the gray area, a lot of those people, they tend to do best, not so much on with their nutrition, but it's in their activity. And the goal, as Barbara mentioned earlier with her client, is to get the carb threshold index number to go up. And as it goes up, that means all the other numbers are coming down. And as it goes up, you're able to eat more carbs without the concern or fear of gaining the weight back. Amen.
Yeah,
Come on.
amen. Hey, mic drop. So I have to share with you, Robert. So I did a post on, actually a story on my Instagram account, maybe last week, and I put a question out there. What is one of the most common questions or points of confusions that my followers have with respect to food or eating healthy, right? And everybody wants to eat healthy, but the number one thing that I got across the board from my responders is they said that they just didn't know what that meant. Like, how much is should they be eating? How much fruits and vegetables? They know, they hear that you have to eat a variety, but what exactly does that mean? Do I eat this? Do I eat that? How much do I eat of this and that? And that is the beauty of this, of coaching this methodology, is it takes that question out. We provide that clarity for our clients, and so that they know exactly what works for them. They know what to eat, they know how much to eat of it, they even know when to eat it. And so it makes success basically just like a foolproof, right?
Oh,
And
100%.
yeah, and so I just found that so interesting that as much information's out there and how we push people to say, "Hey, eat healthy," there still isn't, well, other than us, right? There isn't a clear way to say, well, how exactly do you do that, right? We want to do that, but how exactly do you do that? So, anyway.
It's funny that you say that because quite a few years ago, I was on this Russian cable television, this real popular cable show. And then we did another show, I think it was on CNN, and they had it was like me and three other weight loss or nutrition health related experts on the TV. And then it came down to me and this one lady, and this one lady kept talking about healthy. And I said, who defines what's healthy? Who defines what's healthy? And she couldn't handle that. And my first point was, I said, okay, well, let's say that you say cage-free chicken breast is healthy. The reality is I have vegan friends that'll tell you that it's not. So who defines what's healthy? And we know that with the study of the microbiome, that for one person, eating spinach, organic, pesticide-free spinach is healthy for one person, but it's not healthy for another person. And we know that clearly. So again, everyone will benefit the most by having something that's tailored specifically to them and their situation. And that's what you and I and the coaches are making available. We are making available a blueprint that is going to speak to them. So when someone emails me or they text me, they go, "So Robert, so how does this program work?" My response is, what is your life like? Because it's all about you. It's not a canned program. And so those of you who are listening and watching for the first time, a canned program is when someone creates a program, which I did. Food Lovers was a canned program. The Diet for Your Life System, canned program. I did the best that I could. I put it out there and thousands of people lost weight. The methodology worked. We know that. However, we also know that when people get over the age of 40 or they have certain conditions, maybe they had they spent a big part of their life taking a lot of antibiotics. We know that certain things in their life, in their situation, their circumstances can actually slow down and make it very difficult for them to lose weight. And so that's how all of this came about. And I would say to you, Barbara, that, you know, I could be quiet about it. You know what I mean? I could have just said, hey, I don't know why it didn't work for them, and just keep it moving. But it's that ingenuine thing, right, that we talked about earlier, that I wasn't okay with that. I needed to know, and I'm excited about what we're doing right now.
Absolutely.
Let's keep it going there, Barbara.
What you got next, Ferg?
Okay, so what I did to help people get an idea is, I started coaching people a month ago, and I started working with them. So I just randomly grabbed 3 examples. I did this right before we got on, to kind of give someone a glimpse And I didn't want to give them the best ideal, the people who lost the most weight, because we've had people lose a lot more weight and we've had people lose less weight. But again, it's all customized to them, right? So the first thing I want you to look at is the date. So this person, they started on February 1st. And if you notice, I met with them today. So their chart was in front of me and I just grabbed it. And so if you look at her weight, this lady started at 245.9 pounds. She dropped almost 14 pounds. And she's eating good.
Wow.
Everything's going great. But look at this. Her waist went from 47 to 44 in 30 days. Now, the biggest waist I've seen drop is 7, which is amazing in 30 days. I believe that's Dee Dee. So Dee Dee's watching this. What's up, Dee Dee? I could be off. Maybe it's 5 inches. It's 5 or 7, somewhere in there. But if you drop an inch in a month, that's pretty good.
You feel
and then
that.
you
feel that.
And notice that, look, her body fat drops. And we look at the glucose number. This is her fasting. So she started, Barbara, at 143. And we had a good time a week later. Then went to 128, 131. And now she's at 108. And we celebrate that. But it's all of these numbers, plus her age, etc., that gives us her carb threshold index. So in meeting her, she was at 6.2. And the goal is for that number to go up. She's at 8.9. If she had gone up a 0.1, I would be happy.
Absolutely.
And this is a 67-year-old woman who felt like nothing she was doing. Because I asked them when I interviewed them, I asked them, what diets have you done? What's your background? And I would say 98% of them say, Robert, I've done it all. And they're at a place where they're stuck. She's not stuck anymore. You know what I'm saying? Look at that.
Yeah, what a breath of fresh air for her. And oh, absolutely. Those numbers are great. And I love that you shared this, because the wins, although I know everybody wants to lose weight, right? But those other columns show that there are wins other than just the number on the scale, right? Her waist went down, her body fat percentage went down, her blood sugar levels went down. Those are amazing wins. I'm sure her energy is probably so much better now, and and no longer feeling bloated and all that. Those are huge wins.
Major wins.
Amazing. Mm-hmm.
I mean, it says it all. So I'm gonna share another one. You ready?
Yeah, do it.
Are you ready for number 2?
Number 2.
All right, here's number 2. So look at the dates.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Again, I just started working with people like this. So this lady started at 149. And let me tell you, and I know she's watching this, and I didn't mention anybody's name out of respect. But this lady was at a place where she just felt like, Robert, I saw you mention this on Facebook. And I was like, you know what? I need to do something, because let me just say, I trust Robert. I've known him for quite a few years. I've watched his work. I've seen his infomercials. I've bought his books. Let me reach out to him. So she reaches out and she says, Robert, like, what makes this different than anything you've done? I said, again, it speaks specifically to you. It's about helping you and a lot of the challenges that I know you're probably dealing with. So she comes on board. Look at her waist, 27.5. In 30 days, she's down. And, she's not 200 plus pounds. She's 149 pounds. She's down 2.5 inches in her waist. Her body fat percentage is down 1%, 1.3. Her glucose wasn't elevated, but she was never looking at that. So now we had our lowest reading today at 101. And her carb threshold index has consistently gone up.
Really good.
I mean,
that waist measurement's incredible.
And when I talked to her on the phone, she was like, well, do you think, could I always ask, I said, if all things are possible, what would be a weight that you would like to be at? And I remember her saying, like, I don't know. Like, I mean, if it was possible, like, I don't know, 135, if that's possible. Guess what? She's going to like get to 135, probably end by 130. And the most important part is that she's going to know how to not gain it back, because she's learned how to use the glucose meter. She's learned how to eat and enjoy. And with this client, I introduced her to a boost meal today, which was great.
Ooh, yes. I've been
That's right.
talking about those too.
That's when
That's
you
great progress right there.
I mean, you get it, because I mean you're a woman that's under, I don't know, 130, 125, whatever your weight is. When you drop a solid, 5 pounds and 2.5 inches in your waist, as a woman at your size, would you be happy?
Heck yes. Absolutely. So, like I said, when I talk to my clients about the non scale wins, measurements around your waist, your body fat percentage coming down, those are the things like on my body. The scale might not be some dramatic number, but boy, a percent or so of body fat, my waist measurement going down, huge difference. And I have to share too that as a coach, I do this. So I use this program for myself because it helps me stay on track. And I preach to my clients over and over when I coach them that I have to remind them too, just like you said, Robert, when I'm teaching them everything, that everything I teach them, they have with them forever. They can take this and they can continue to use it forever. It's not just a one and done thing. They're empowered with how they eat, with how they move, and really with being able to attain and keep reaching goals that they want. It's very empowering. I think yeah, it's just a great program.
So how old do you think this woman is? I haven't posted her age yet.
Okay, so I'm thinking, golly, I don't know, 60?
Well, we know she's over 40.
Yeah.
So 64.
Wow.
And you know how many
That's
64-year
awesome.
olds that think weight loss is over? I mean, they're never going to lose weight again.
Yep. Every single one that I've dealt with thinks that there's nothing that they can do.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to get too thrown off, but yesterday I met with one of our, like Chris, the guy I told you about. His hemoglobin A1C was 11.1. Inside
Oh,
of
yeah.
3 months is down to 6%. So his mom and dad I ended up working with. And his mom,
Oh, wow.
who's like 71 years old,
Mhm.
she's down 10 pounds today. Her body fat dropped like 3.5%. And she is so happy. So happy. I mean, that's what it's all about. So I was missing that. So I'm so happy to, COVID put me in a place, and just with all the changes and thinking, when I decided to make this available, I'm so happy because it's really reconnected me with why I do what I do. And I'm just thankful
Yeah.
for the clients that I have, the clients that you work with. Um, I'm just having a blast being in the trenches. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, so
And
I
like
have
I
one
said,
more, Barbara.
from two oh, well, one more. Go,
One
go.
more. Okay, so look at the dates. So this lady started at
Wow.
236 pounds. So she ends up losing 15 pounds in her first 30 days.
Mhm.
Her waist was 43.5. She drops 3 inches in her waist. Now, at this point, you start to
Yeah.
go, everybody's losing a lot in their waist. Exactly.
Like, yeah.
Because we're eating in a way to improve the microbiome. And by improving the microbiome with real food, real life, we're seeing a reduction of inflammation. I had someone that had reached out to me, I don't know, a few days ago, and they're not over 40, but they're experiencing some inflammation, right? And some bloating.
Mhm.
And this, I don't know if I'm working with this person or not, but they may go and do a whole bunch of other things, and I hope it works out for them. But what we do, you own for the rest of your life. because it's not a fad, it's not a gimmick, it's not something that you don't learn. And that's why I'm not interested in the average 20, 30 something year old, because I don't have the energy or time for that. If you're not in a position where you know the struggle and you're done with all the playing games, and I'm not saying that to be insensitive, Barbara, I'm not, but a lot of people just don't get it. And what I mean by not getting it is that they're just they'll go from one thing to the next. And I know you must have had clients like this where they say they're in and they want to do it, and then they go to work and their friend is doing intermittent fasting. Oh, hey, I'm gonna come back to this, but I'm gonna go do that now.
Yeah.
I don't have time for those people.
Thing?
Yes.
Like, what's the next shiny thing? No, and we talked about a client that I had that we just mentioned about how there's more wins than just what the number on the scale is, your waistline, and how that's indicative of your, inflammation going away and your microbiome, improving. But how we're so fixated on the number on the scale. And I shared with you, remember that client that I had that was so fixated on the scale not moving very much. It went down a little, but all the other, factors, as far as her waist went down, her body fat percentage was down. She was eating, she's actually eating more than she was eating prior to. Her energy was great. She had no more of that, brain fog, but could not wrap her head around the fact that she was just wanting to see the scale or the number on the scale drop. That she couldn't even see that these wins, that we were laying this amazing foundation, for great progress, that she just couldn't see past that. And it was really an unfortunate thing.
So let me assume, and this is no and this is no disrespect to anyone based on their age, but I would assume she's under the age of 40.
Yes.
There you go. She may be even in her 20s.
Just fresh into the 30s.
Okay. Well, there you go.
However, I also have a client who's 35 who has experienced some struggle as well, was doing the keto thing for a while. And obviously couldn't stick to that because, like I say, I tell my clients, sustainable results come from a sustainable program or a sustainable lifestyle. And anyway, I started working with her. Actually, we did the Carb Threshold Index for her, and at 35, she got great results. Great results.
Nice.
So she was ready because she was sick of the struggle too.
Well, hey, like I said, I mean, I got a 22-year-old I'm working with right now. I have a 32-year-old that's like killing it. And she like emailed me and says, hey, I'm not 40, but and that's why we have a program now that's specifically for women under 40. And we have a program for men, etc. But look at this lady's body fat percentage, 48.2. 40, she's dropped 2.2% in 30 days. That's great. And look at her blood glucose. She's down 18 points on her blood glucose, and she's eating and enjoying her food. She's eating carbs, she's eating protein, she's eating fats, she's eating out. She had birthday cake. I mean, come on. And then her carb threshold index, look at that. It's going up. I mean, what else do we say? This lady's 63 years old. All three of the people that I went over, they all three of them felt like they're going to do this. They don't even know why they're doing it. They trust me. They're going to give it a shot, but they feel like, weight loss ain't coming off in your 60s and 70s. Well, they're all kicking butt right now. All of them.
Yeah.
Yes. So when it comes, we're talking about something that meets everybody where they are. It speaks specifically to you as an individual. When you're being coached by a coach, then you're being coached by a coach, which means there is no canned program. We get to know you, ask you questions, and then we create a program specifically for you. So, as I stated in the very beginning, the Carb Threshold Index, which we make available as one of our tools, is designed to help you improve your carbohydrate metabolism, help you optimize your gut microbiome. That means reducing bloating and inflammation, improving fat deposition, which a lot of people don't know what that means probably, but Just imagine getting rid of fat in areas that you would like to get rid of fat, leaning out, being healthier, increasing your energy throughout the day, and losing weight, and being in a position where you're not concerned about gaining the weight back because you know how to eat. This is what it's all about, Barbara.
Boom.
This
Boom.
is
I
what
love
it's
it.
all about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, this is
So,
great.
we've been at it 45 minutes. I
Hey, that
think
was perfect.
actually that was pretty good for me because I could go off. Now, if you're open to it, we can take some questions from people. So if you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, if you have questions
Yeah.
right now, and there are people here live, ask your questions because I could really go off right now because I had a fun. I told
You're
Barbara, you
fired
guys,
up. Are you fired up?
I am. I was so fired up because I spoke to a lady, Rosa, and Rosa, thank you for coming on board. You're amazing. And I had a hard time sharing with her about the program because I was so frustrated with the lies and the people that she had come in contact with that were encouraging her to eat a certain way. And a big part of who I am personally is I don't like bullies. And I feel that many people are bullied when it comes to dieting and nutrition and their health. They're bullied without knowing they're bullied because these people are not telling them the truth. And it's unfortunate. The people who aren't telling the truth, they're telling their truth. So I'm not like throwing digs at them because they just don't know. They don't know any better. They don't know anything different. And a lot of these fitness people, they become real confident, same as doctors, they get the white coat, and they're not humble enough to like be open to learning. And I experienced this at the Fortune 50 level as far as companies when I'm in the room, to like someone I don't want to mention their name, but an Ivy Leaguer who once looked me in the eyes, Barbara. She looked me in the eyes and she says, Robert, the problem with your program is not the program, it's not you, it's the fact that I feel stupid that I didn't know this before meeting you. I go, what? So a lot of the people that are in a position to help people aren't helping people. They're not helping people because it's kind of like what Natalie was saying. If they were in the business of helping people, we would be helping people. You do the right thing, right? So that's what I love about the company Stay Healthy is that they want to do the right thing, and that's what really made me want to be a part of the company. Is that they want to do the right thing, and the right thing sometimes is not going to be widely respected. When I was consulting with some of these companies and potentially working with some of these other companies and network marketing and different genres, they say it that they want to help, but when it comes down to it, show me the money. And I get that.
Right.
But I want to show you we can make the money by being true to helping people. And that's where I have to really I'm breathing inside, Barbara, because the fighter in me just wants to go. I want to go off.
You gotta like cleansing breaths.
Okay, I gotta breathe.
Yeah,
Barbara.
I think another thing what we talked about too is how important it is to meet people where they are, because what I like to eat, what you like to eat, what my clients like to eat, it's all different. And if we could teach everybody how to eat the foods that they enjoy eating, right, then they're setting themselves up for long-term success, right? Because if we force someone to eat something that they know they can only stomach for 2-3 weeks, it's not going to last, right? Again, I always come down back to is that sustainable results come from a sustainable lifestyle. And it's so important about meeting people where they are. We talked about that today, how important that is to really get to know our clients, know what they eat, teach them how to optimize what they're eating. In fact, actually, I'm looking at some of these questions here. Let's see. There was a funny one. Oh, here, this one's for you, Robert. Can I have a few beers and still lose the inches and pounds?
Hey, well,
Go,
hey,
Cassie.
there's always a way. There's always a way to make something work. And yes, we do have this thing called a boost meal. And we do understand that food and having a drink here and there is a big part of the celebration of life. I get that. And so we understand that. So I've never been someone who's going to, now you can't have that. My thing is, let's figure out how you can. So there's got to be a trade somewhere, right? It's kind of like H.L. Hunt, one of the first billionaires in the United States. When he was on Johnny Carson, Johnny Carson asked him, like, what's the secret, man? I mean, you're a billionaire. What's the secret? He says, well, one, you got to make a decision on what you got to know what you want. What do you want? And then he says, number two, got to make a decision on if you're going to be okay with the exchange. And Johnny Carson goes like, what do you mean the exchange? Well, if you want that, then you got to do something. Or what are you willing to do to get that? Right? So it may be, I'm at In-N-Out Burger. I'm willing to not eat because I really want the fries. Or it may be, you know what? I can't eat a burger without the bread, so I'm just not going to eat the fries. That's an exchange. And then H.L. Hunt ended because, Johnny Carson goes, okay, well, what's number three? He goes, do the work. And Johnny said, well, that seems pretty simple. Everybody should be successful in whatever they do. He says, no, because most people won't make a decision after they know what they want. They may say, I want to lose weight, but they won't make a decision. So there are people who will watch you and us have this conversation. You and I have this conversation, and they want to lose weight, but they're not going to contact us. They're not going to email us. They're just going to stay right. And that's not a dig on them. That's just where they are. But the ones who do jump in, I just showed data on 3 of them. And as I look inside of here, as far as the chat, I see some people who are doing great. Look at Judy. Judy's killing it right now. Wendy's doing real. Dee Dee's like down almost 60 pounds. Why? Because Dee Dee says, I'm going to lose this weight. She made a decision. And the root meaning of the word decision means to draw a line in the sand and don't look back. Go for it. And if you want to do that on your own, hey, good luck. And it may work for you. And it does for people. But if you want to do it with a coach, that's why we have coaches. Because a coach is going to be there with no judgment. A coach is going to be there to help you thrive. So if you want it, come get it, baby. Come get it.
Decide. Right? Yeah, I think we're seeing all the comments here. See, Lindsay says, do you not see all the comments in the live chat? I did Robert's program in boot camp years ago. I missed that boot camp. Such great memories.
Oh, Lindsay. That sounds familiar. Yeah, I used to have, I told you about my boot camps.
Yeah, I know. I heard they were amazing. That you had the yellow cards, right? And
that's right. If you didn't lose weight, you get kicked right out. I ain't playing games with people. And you know what? Hey, so I took on a little over 100 people that I coached in the last 30 days. And I got rid of 3 of them. I let 3 go. And they wanted to pay. I don't need your money.
Like, nope.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're not real, if I'm not enjoying it, what's the point? Now I can put them with another coach, but I'm not in that game. Not at this point in my life. As you know, and you, same as you have a son. I have 2 daughters. And you know what? I'm thinking about them, and I'm not working with anybody who's not fun and who's not focused. They don't got to be perfect, but don't waste my damn time, and I'm not going to waste yours. I don't need your money.
Absolutely. It's not perfect. Yeah, it's not about being perfect, but if you show up every day. I'm the same way too. If you get to the point, you're like, hey, just like they're checking out for a coach, we're checking our clients, making sure that our clients are real, right? Because I don't want to mess with that either.
Absolutely. And let me give a shout out to Diane Bevan, because I had a great talk with her today. She's one of the people I'm working with. And I actually look forward to these people. I look forward to talking to them. You know what I mean? Like, I literally, when I hang up the phone, and I know you feel the same, not for everybody, right? But I literally, when I hang up the phone with Diane, I'm happy. I'm happy that I had the call. I had a call with the lady today, Amy Jackson. Amy is up in Oregon area, and she dropped 1 pound in the last week. A lot of people go, well, that's not like to be. No, it was. She had a birthday party, and I laugh with. We are just having so much fun, and I can't wait to see where she's gonna be a year from now.
Yeah.
So
Amazing.
now, if
No,
you want to
dare
have some
you.
real
Love,
fun, let's go there, baby.
yeah.
Oh, Lindsay. Yeah, I know Lindsay. That's Kimberly. Yeah, Lindsay, what's up? Sorry about that. Lindsay's awesome. I trained her son in Taekwondo back in the day. And
Oh,
you remember
wow.
Pastor Lonnie McCowan, right? So
Yes,
his
I
wife
do.
is Lindsay's sister.
Oh my
Yeah, you just
goodness.
got to meet her.
Wow.
Lindsay,
Small
you need to
world.
come over and hang out with us. We have Lacey Green, who teaches a lot of classes inside of our Diet Free Life, and you would definitely enjoy
Yeah.
it. So yeah, Lindsay's good people. We had good times. She's fun. We laugh very hard.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Well,
So
oh wow, I love these comments. I love how we can see these comments. I'm thinking they're kind of moving through. So this is awesome to be able to see it
now
streaming
you
as we
notice you can
speak.
see the ones that are from Facebook and you can see the ones from YouTube.
From YouTube. Yeah, very cool.
That's right. See,
So
baby. Hey,
Lindsay on
I'm trying to tell
YouTube.
you, Barbara.
Look at you all high
I'm trying to help Barbara out, people. I said, hey, it's not just about Facebook.
Trying to get tips, Gabby.
Hey, if I didn't go on YouTube, Rosa and I would not have connected today.
Oh yeah, you see.
You see
Very
what I'm saying?
nice.
Like, not everybody's on Facebook. There's people on Facebook, which
Right.
is great. Then there's YouTube. Then you got Instagram, and you got to get it out there. You got to our goal is to help
Yeah.
people. We got to spread. It's kind of like back in the day. We got to spread the gospel. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
All right, we got
It's
about
like our
5 minutes,
flyers. We're just
Barbara.
putting flyers everywhere. What's that?
What did you say?
I said it's like we're putting our flyers everywhere.
Flyers everywhere, spreading the gospel. There's this guy named Jesus Christ, Barbara.
No, I heard you on that.
And you know what he did? He
I know
goes,
what you're talking about. No, we talked at the same time. I get it. You're saying I have to go to church.
I remember Jesus said, hey, you know what? I'm going to start with 12. And look what happened. Look what happened.
Yeah.
Come on.
No. Come on.
Now, okay, so I don't know if this is, I just want to share something about the microbiome because I'm seeing it everywhere.
Oh.
I'm seeing all these people talk about it. I've been talking about it for a while, and now I'm becoming very public about it, like big time. And so I just want to share something that can help everybody, right? Because even when I was talking to Rosa, she was telling me that, this lady she was working with, who's some nutritionist or whatever, said that the diet that she was recommending to her was going to help improve her microbiome. And I said, okay, so what are you eating? And she says, it's like primarily, I'm not eating anything but meat. And I said, well,
okay.
What all of the scientists and researchers agree with, and I know I'm repeating this to you because you already know this, but everyone agrees that a microbiome that's diverse in its bacteria is a healthy microbiome. And if you're not eating fruits and vegetables and mixing it up, then you do not have a diverse microbiome. You have dysbiosis, which is disrupted. And when that's the case, you set yourself up for autoimmune challenges. You set yourself for bloating, for major inflammation, and for mental disorders, all kind of challenges. And so when I was talking to her, Barbara, I was like, I would sue that woman. I would actually, if there's a way to sue her, I would sue her.
Yeah,
because as a customer, think about it. As a customer, you go in and you're going to a professional who says they're a nutritionist or whatever, and they have something like that, and it leads to an autoimmune disorder. She could end up getting celiac disease from that.
Oh no! Oh my!
Oh yeah, because celiac disease, and we're going to do a show on this, but 1 in 3 people have the gene that dormant, but based on disruption with the microbiome, the switch turns on, and once you have celiac, you have celiac. There's no changing that. And most people, when people go to Mexico and they drink the water, eat some food, and they get Montezuma revenge, Well, then a lot of those people come back and they don't recover fully to their doctor, and they find out that they have celiac now. So they have to avoid gluten. Otherwise, they experience major disruption and pain.
So, so the damage has been done to their small intestine.
And the flip side of that is that
Wow.
all the people who are thinking, I'm going to avoid gluten. Well, if you don't have celiac and you avoid gluten, you create damage to your microbiome. So all the wannabe gluten-free people, you're doing way more damage to your gut health by avoiding gluten, and you're not someone who has celiac disease.
Exactly. Like you have to actually be diagnosed and tested to actually confirm that's in fact have. Right.
And then the people who avoid gluten, if you avoid gluten, and let's say 4 months goes by, you can't even really go get tested.
What do you mean? Because it's not like it won't be
it won't be there. The inflammation won't be there. It won't be present. So then they just have to guess. They have to assume. So that's why it's like all these people and these celebrities getting people avoid gluten. I'm like, what are you guys doing? There is so much benefit to eating grains and barley. Like there are benefits to it. Not everyone has celiac. Now you may be sensitive to gluten. Okay, go get tested. Don't guess. See, this is the stuff that drives me crazy.
Right.
All right, I apologize.
Like you said, the misinformation, just these little bits of information, and not really understanding how to truly apply it, what it means, and taking advantage of people.
Absolutely. And like Lindsay said, you see her comment, she says, Robert, you're still I go, absolutely.
You're a hot mess.
And you know what, Lindsay? You gotta see my stand-up.
Yeah. Your stand-up's pretty good. I saw your stand-up. You're funny.
Well, thank you. Thank you. You know what? You're funny. You make me laugh every time I look at your hair. And,
okay, so this morning it was bigger. This morning
it was bigger this morning. I noticed that.
Down. We're in the evening now.
Yeah, so we're over, you guys. We're about to close. I apologize. We're going a little bit long. So give us this moment to rant, because those kind of things really drive me crazy. And I just want anyone to know that I am more personally to get on the phone with your physician, for your dietitian, with your dietitian, your nutritionist, your fitness trainer. I have no problem getting on the phone with anybody. If I'm working with you, I will get on the phone and talk to anybody. And I would love you to be in the background. We do a 3-way call so you can hear, because there's something powerful about you sitting in the back and listening to me talk to the person that has given you some screwed up advice, and watch how the conversation go. And that doesn't mean that I have all the answers to everything, because I don't. I could 100% learn on that call, but at the same time, I'm gonna call a spade a spade. What I mean, we have 3 evidence-based, clinically proven studies that support everything that we're saying, and no one's gonna I just can't imagine someone. I would love to learn more, trust me, but at the same time, I'm gonna telling you to eat the way they told Rosa to eat. I'm gonna get really upset and frustrated and heated on the inside, and I'm gonna lay it down. I think that's the former Marine and martial artist in me.
Yeah.
That's right. And I ain't afraid of nobody, Barbara.
Right.
So
hey, but you know what? We are, as coaches, we're advocates for our clients. And I've had to do that with a client of mine too, right? With his medication and his physician, and kind of step in there. It's not being confrontational at all. It's really just being an additional advocate for them. And it makes a difference. It really does.
Hey, so Brenda Klein said that my hair is beautiful. Thank you, Brenda. I appreciate that.
No, thank you, Brenda. Thank you.
Brenda, you're talking about my hair. Come on now. Let everybody know you like my hair. And Jeff, what's up, Jeff? Jeff says nothing wrong with being passionate about what you do. And you're right.
That's right.
Actually, you know what? We need to unleash the beast. I need to be more. I need to let this side of me show more.
What's that?
You know
You're
what I mean?
the martial artist. That guy come out?
Well, I mean, no, I mean, I am passionate. And sometimes in the corporate
Oh
world,
yeah.
you're working so hard not to like upset anybody or frustrate anyone. You walk on this tightrope because you don't want to offend people. We live in a canceled culture. Um,
Mm.
and you know what? I lost a lot of friends over making certain comments and certain things, but at the end of the day, I know where my heart is, and my heart is in a place where I want to make a difference and help people. That's it. So, any last words from
Right.
you, Barbara, before we say goodbye to everyone?
Oh, no, this was absolutely a pleasure doing. I love being able to connect, with people and I'm chatting with you. I always feel so inspired. And like you said, when I get off my calls with my clients, I'm always so inspired by them, by their progress. It really makes my day. It really reminds me of why I love doing what I do. And so thank you for, I guess, really to everybody for just believing, trusting in us, and it's um, it's a great ride.
Well, thank you for sharing that, Barbara. And I sincerely, we have some really good coaches. Again, you got people saying your hair looks great. I don't know why they're saying that, but whatever. What?
Yeah. They need to go back a few episodes. There was one episode we did on the Stay Healthy Experience, guys. Just so that you know, it for real. My hair was huge.
It was pretty big. It was so big, you guys, that
It's pretty big.
it was distracting. We had like our guests couldn't even focus on their answers because they kept staring at her hair, and we all assumed
Yeah,
that
they were like, "Where is?"
we all assumed that you were from Texas, Barbara. And then you said you're from where did you say you're from? Italy.
Italy, yes, and
Italy and
born
the
in
Nard
Italy,
and the
yes,
Nard.
that too. Grew up there in the 805, 805.
Hey, so Barbara, before we go, I don't know if you realize it, but strawberries are available now. So you guys,
Oh,
when you buy your strawberries, many times, like when I'm traveling around the country, I'll go into a store and get some strawberries, and I'll look on the package, and it's right here from Oxnard, where we live, from this county,
nice.
Ventura County, California. And strawberries are now available. So I'm eating
Yay.
strawberries like twice a day.
Are you? Yeah, okay. So I might start swapping strawberries out for my blackberries because my blackberries are just mm,
Hey,
so good.
hey, berries are berries. So they gave you another shout out. Brenda's working hard here. She said that big hair is beautiful.
Yes, girl.
And
Yes.
oh yes, for Barbara. So I got a question from Jeff. Jeff says, strawberries or blueberries, which are better for you?
Ooh, good question. I would say whatever you like best. Go with
And I would
that.
second that. The berries
Mm-hmm.
are great. They're a slow carb based on the Diet Free Life methodology.
Mm-hmm.
They are packed with antioxidants.
Mm-hmm.
And if I had to pick one, like if I do, and I hate to do this because people will assume that well, that's the best berry, I would go with
Yeah.
blueberries.
Mm,
And even though I eat all berries,
I do
but if I
too.
had to pick one, and someone said, Robert, you can never ever eat another berry, only one berry, you got to pick one right now. You got the
Oh,
choice:
I know.
blueberries, strawberries, goose, um, raspberries, blackberries. Did I miss one? I would go blueberries.
Yeah. Oh, if I had to pick, blackberries for sure.
All right. Well, there you go,
But
people.
yeah.
Blackberries. Oh, so
Yes.
Brenda Klein, she says $5 a small box. I'm not sure what that means, but where we live in Ventura County, these things are amazingly cheap because they pick them right here in our county.
Yes.
So we're very lucky
Mm,
from that standpoint.
they're
Any
so
last
sweet.
questions, you guys? Any questions before we, I don't want to keep pushing it. We're 10 minutes over what was the extended version. But if you have any questions, we will answer your questions. Otherwise, you can reach out to myself. You can reach out to Barbara. We have other coaches that we can connect you with. But if you are someone over the age of 40 and you are ready to lose that weight, and if you're someone that we're working with, please do us a favor and reach out to your friends. Tell them about your own personal experience and invite them over to do work with us so we can help them. Jack LaLanne, who is a dear friend of mine, I knew him from the time he was 88 to the time he died, which he was 96 years of age. And Jack used to always say, he said it, and I wish you could have met him, Barbara. Jack, he was so animated. He would always say to me, I mean, I swear to you, like if I was in a room with him 20 times he said this: if you're excited about something, Robert, don't keep it a secret. If something's working for you, don't keep it to just you. If you discover something that could help other people in the struggle, share it with other people. Don't keep it just for you. I'll never forget that. He just stressed that and stressed that. And I see it all the time because people will do well, whether it's investing in finances and making money, and they keep it to themselves. They lose weight, they feel great, and they keep it to themselves. I can tell you right now that Judy, who's catching this, I mean, in the first couple of weeks, she put together a list of like 10 people that she knew would appreciate what we're doing, and she emailed it to them. And then a few of those people came on board, and now they're looking at a whole different way of living. I mean, I'm a Christian, and as a Christian, I get that. And I know Judy's a Christian, so you pay it forward constantly and you share with other people. You can't force people to do things, but there's something powerful about sharing with other people information or an opportunity that could help them improve parts of their lives. That's to me, that's to be commendable. And those are my final words.
Absolutely. Oh, no, I love that. And I remember first meeting you, and that was one of the, I remember you telling me that way back then. So I know you stand behind that thoroughly. And yeah,
Stand
nice way
behind
to
what?
end it. In fact, I love the fact that you said to basically pay it forward. That if you're excited about something, share it. Don't keep it to yourself. Put it out there for others to benefit too. You don't have to hoard it and keep it to yourself in a corner. So I remember you sharing that with me.
Yep. Pay it. I mean, we only here for so long. I mean, last week I had two people. I had a relative die. Then I had a client who is a very dear friend of mine die. And think about all the people who have died that I've shared with you since you've known me.
Life is too short.
Well, I guess like when you know a lot of people and you stay in touch with a lot of people, you experience the negatives of that, which means you see a lot of people die. And it has been crazy. The last few years, a lot of my best friends from grade school are dead, and they're like young. And the saddest part is that it was preventable. So they died prematurely. It could have been like they could have lived. And most of it was obesity and nutrition and that type of health related. And so they're gone. And that 100, I mean, I get, I mean, we all aren't going to live forever. You can't live forever. But to die prematurely because of how you lived, that's kind of sad.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
Definitely.
all right, you
I
guys.
really
So,
like
Jeff,
this format.
cheers. He's up in Maine. I love Maine, Barbara. I love
Oh,
Maine.
I'm never. I'm sure. I see that it's beautiful.
We got to get you out there.
I know. Out of my office.
Yeah, we got to get you out there because Maine is one of my favorite
Yes.
places. Maine and Boston, love both.
Yes. I definitely need to get to Boston and see my girls in Boston.
Oh, that's right. We'll go out there and party with your client and get her to gain 5 pounds.
Like, hell no, hell no.
Yeah,
Yeah, I really enjoyed this format. This was good.
All right. Well, thank you, Barbara. I appreciate you. And thank you guys for listening in. We appreciate you. Share this if you don't mind. Share it to your friends. There's a share button if you're on Facebook. There's a share button on YouTube. We appreciate you helping us get the word out because we want to end all this craziness and help people live their healthiest and best life. So go ahead and say goodbye, everybody, Barbara.
Hey, goodbye, everyone. Thanks for joining us and sharing this, special evening with us. It was fun.